Seen it once, don't remember when. Think it's time to watch it again. Follow, subscribe, stay up to date. Episodes drop the last Friday. It's the Matt, forgot that. It's the Matt, forgot that. It's the Matt, forgot that podcast.
Welcome to the Matt Forgot That podcast, the place to recollect and reminisce. I'm your host, Matt Seroski, filmmaker, film fan. Each episode, I'm going to rewatch and review a movie or TV pilot that I've seen before but don't quite remember. It could be a blockbuster, critic's choice, or cult classic. To join in on the conversation, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've reviewed, or want to share your own trip down memory lane, use the hashtag MattForgotThat on social. Before we start, it looks like Christmas has come early for Netflix, as they are now the frontrunner to purchase Warner Brothers Studios. It's pretty much a done deal, except it's going to take another year, 2 years to go through all the government approvals. But Paramount put up a good fight. It looks like they offered more money per shares, but the Warner Brothers board decided to go with Netflix. Now, I think this is a good thing, and I'll tell you why. I'm not into consolidation and mergers. But to be honest, after Disney bought The Muppets, Marvel, Pixar, Star Wars, and Fox Studios, which included Blue Sky Animation, I don't think any governmental body can stop studios from merging anymore. There is no reason not to after allowing that to happen. But to have Paramount and Warner Brothers combine seems like it would give less opportunity to filmmakers and creators. Whereas Netflix, they're not in this business. Netflix is a streaming-first platform focused on original content creation and acquisition. Their entire strategy revolves around producing exclusive content for their subscribers, plus doing some licensing deals. But Warner Brothers is a traditional studio that produces films and television shows for theatrical and linear distribution. So this is a whole new world for Netflix. And they've said that they're committed to continuing the traditional distribution model with Warner Brothers. I think the only thing that gives people pause in the industry is that Netflix is the #1 streamer and Warner Brothers is the #3 streamer. So by combining those two forces, you'll have less opportunity, less competition, which is bad for creators and bad for consumers. I do agree with that, but I do think that the theatrical model is going to make a comeback. Because all these streamers have realized that they can't just hoard content because they don't make enough money off of it. They have to license their content to other streamers. That's how they make their money. So consumers at some point are going to realize, oh, I saw The Goonies on HBO Max this month. Oh, next month it's on Netflix. Next month it's on Peacock. And realize, well, I don't need all of these streaming services if they're just going to rotate their content. So I think the studios are going to go back to putting a focus on theatrical distribution and not having a 2-month window in the theaters. We've seen it work. Top Gun Maverick spent a ton of time in the theaters, didn't come to streaming until 9 months later, and people still gobbled it up. So I don't think streaming is going to suffer. I think this is only a good thing for theatrical. But I could be wrong. We'll see. What are your feelings on Netflix buying Warner Brothers Studios? Hit me up on social media using the hashtag MattForgotThat with your thoughts. On to the main attraction. Each review will end with a ranking out of 5 stars. 1 star is skip it, 2 stars watch at your own risk, 3 stars standard fare, 4 stars worth checking out, and 5 stars must see. Now, if I give a title 5 stars, it doesn't mean I'm comparing it to Casablanca, Jaws, or Seinfeld. I rank titles based on other movies or TV series in that genre and at that time period. On this episode of the podcast, I'm rewatching and reviewing Jingle All The Way from 1996. It was directed by Brian Levant, who helmed Animal Adventure Beethoven, big screen adaptation of The Flintstones, family comedy Snow Dogs, and slapstick action The Spy Next Door. The screenplay was written by Randy Kornfield, who scribed the action movie Sweet Revenge and comedy thriller Eight-Legged Freaks. It stars Arnold Schwarzenegger as Howard Langston. One of the most iconic figures in Hollywood history, his career spans the worlds of bodybuilding, acting, business, and politics. Born in Austria in 1947, Schwarzenegger first rose to fame as a bodybuilder, winning the prestigious Mr. Olympia title 7 times. His remarkable physique and intense dedication to the sport paved the way for his transition into acting. In 1982, his breakout role came with the film Conan the Barbarian, but it was his portrayal of the cyborg assassin in James Cameron's 1984 sci-fi classic The Terminator that solidified his place as a global superstar. His catchphrase, "I'll be back," became synonymous with his career and the action genre. Throughout the 80s and 90s, Schwarzenegger became the face of blockbuster action films, starring in hits like Predator, Total Recall, and True Lies. Known for his stoic yet charismatic presence, he became a fixture in action cinema, often playing characters who combined physical prowess with an unexpected sense of humor. Beyond his film career, Schwarzenegger expanded his influence into politics, serving as the 38th governor of California from 2003 to 2011. Returning to acting after his time in politics, he reprised his iconic role in Terminator Genisys and continued to be involved in films like The Expendables. Schwarzenegger's legacy extends far beyond his box office successes. Known for his work ethic, resilience, and larger-than-life personality, Arnold Schwarzenegger's impact on both the entertainment industry and global culture remains indelible. Sinbad, born David Atkins in 1956, is a multi-talented comedian, actor, and voice artist who became a household name in the 1990s with his distinct blend of physical comedy, observational humor, and charismatic delivery. Known for his affable personality and clean humor, Sinbad first rose to prominence with his stand-up comedy, earning widespread recognition with appearances on The Arsenio Hall Show and his own HBO specials. His success as a comedian seamlessly transitioned to acting, where he became a beloved figure in family films like House Guest and Jingle All The Way. Sinbad's unique comedic style, filled with energetic physical comedy and witty one-liners, made him a key player in 90s cinema and television, particularly with his role in the hit TV series A Different World, where he portrayed Coach Walter Oakes. Beyond his acting career, Sinbad's voice work in animated projects further expanded his reach to younger audiences. His career also took a turn into producing, with projects like the family adventure First Kid, showcasing his diverse skills set behind the scenes. While his career slowed down in the early 2000s, Sinbad has maintained a loyal fan base through stand-up comedy tours and public appearances. His signature blend of positive energy, humor, and relatable storytelling continues to resonate with fans of all ages. Sinbad's enduring impact on comedy and entertainment made him a beloved figure in the annals of 90s pop culture. Jingle All The Way also features Phil Hartman, Rita Wilson, Robert Conrad, Martin Mull, Jim Belushi, and Jake Lloyd. So let's jump into it. This is what I remember. The TV show. The movie opens with the TV show of Turbo Man, where we see the character performing heroic feats. This sets the tone for the film's over-the-top, Christmas-themed madness. It's both funny and memorable because the TV show is so ridiculous, and it lays the foundation for Arnold Schwarzenegger's character's journey to get his son the elusive toy. And the mall fight. One of the most iconic and chaotic moments is when Howard, in the midst of a full-on toy hunt frenzy, gets into a physical altercation with a fellow desperate dad, who is also looking for the same Turbo Man doll. The scene ends with an epic brawl in the mall, completed with toy-related weapons, and is a perfect example of the absurdity of the entire quest. Now I'm heading off to rewatch the movie. This is what I forgot. Jingle All The Way opens with Howard Langston, a busy, overworked businessman who is constantly disappointing his young son, Jamie. Howard has forgotten to attend important events in Jamie's life, including a karate ceremony, and has become a somewhat absent father figure. His wife, Liz, expresses her frustration over Howard's neglectful behavior and his lack of involvement in the family's holiday plans. The central conflict revolves around Howard's desperate attempt to make up for his shortcomings by getting Jamie the most coveted Christmas toy of the year, Turbo Man, a limited edition action figure that is highly sought after. Howard promises Jamie that he'll get him the toy, but when the stores quickly sell out, Howard realizes that he has failed at securing one. Feeling the pressure to live up to his promise and save his reputation as a good father, Howard embarks on a frenetic, chaotic journey to find a Turbo Man doll on Christmas Eve, and is introduced to the rival character Myron, a similarly desperate father trying to secure a Turbo Man for his own son, setting the stage for the comedic and increasingly absurd events to unfold. Here's a quote without context, this coming from a guy who assaulted a toddler for a Super Bowl. Jingle All The Way is a holiday comedy that blends slapstick humor with a pointed critique of consumerism and modern parenting. At its heart, the film is about the pressures that come with balancing work, family, and the desire to fulfill unrealistic expectations, especially during the holiday season. One of the primary themes of Jingle All The Way is the absurdity of consumer culture, particularly during Christmas. The frantic search for the Turbo Man action figure, a material object, reflects the pressures of a consumer-driven society where Christmas, originally a time of familial connection, has become another opportunity for business to profit and for people to prove their love through extravagant purchases. At its core, Jingle All The Way is a story about fatherhood and redemption. Howard is portrayed as a well-meaning but neglectful father who spends way too much time at work and too little time with his son Jamie. As the film progresses, Howard's frantic pursuit of Turbo Man transforms from a selfish desire to win his son's love through an expensive toy into a more heartfelt, personal realization about what really matters. While Jingle All The Way is undoubtedly a comedy, it carries a heartwarming and timeless message about the importance of relationships over material goods. By the end of the film, Howard's chaotic journey for the Turbo Man toy becomes secondary to the realization that being a good father involves much more than buying the right gift. The film's blend of slapstick humor, consumerism satire, and father and son bonding makes it a memorable entry in the holiday genre, balancing absurdity with sentimental warmth. It stands as a reminder that, in the midst of the holiday madness, it's the time spent with loved ones, and not the presents, that truly makes the season special. Now for a little trivial trivia. The story was inspired by the shopping frenzy over Cabbage Patch dolls in the 1980s, and was serendipitous in its release around the Tickle Me Elmo craze. Jingle All The Way was produced by Fox Family Films and distributed by 20th Century Fox. It was filmed at 7th Place Mall, Mickey's Diner, Nicollet Island, and Energy Park Studios in Minnesota. The cinematography was captured by Victor J. Kemper, whose filmography includes heist drama Dog Day Afternoon, sports satire Slapshot, comedy mystery Clue, and buddy comedy Tommy Boy. It was edited by the team of Kent Beta, Wilton Henderson, and Adam Weiss. The score was composed by David Newman, who wrote the music for Alien Invasion Critters, dark comedy Throw Mama from the Train, family film Little Monsters, and true crime drama Hoffa. He was nominated for one Academy Award for Best Music, Original Music, or Comedy Score of Anastasia. The soundtrack featured songs by Ronnie Spector, Darlene Love, Chuck Berry, the Brian Setzer Orchestra, and Nat King Cole. The runtime is 1 hour, 29 minutes. It had a budget of $70 million and grossed $130 million at the box office. On the Ski Index, I give it 3 out of 5 stars. If you've seen Jingle All The Way and have opinions on the movie, let me know what you think using the hashtag #MattForgotThat. Moving right along, each episode, I'm going to post throwback clips that I think people should watch. It could be movie trailers, music videos, interviews, or something completely random. Search for my YouTube page and there'll be a playlist called Matt Forgot That Playback. Animotion was a synth-pop band that gained fame in the 1980s, known for their catchy hooks, electronic beats, and slick production. The group was formed in Los Angeles in 1984, originally as a collaboration between musicians from the band Red Zone and lead singer of the Billy Bond band, Bill Wadhams. They were initially influenced by the burgeoning electronic music scene, mixing synth-pop, new wave, and a bit of rock. Early on, the group struggled to gain attention in the competitive LA music scene, but soon caught the interest of Mercury Records. Animotion's breakthrough came with the release of their self-titled debut album in 1984, which featured the now iconic hit, Obsession. Obsession quickly became a top 10 hit on the Billboard Hot 100, reaching number 6 in the United States. The song's driving synth beats, catchy hook, and dark, almost seductive lyrics about unrequited love made it a quintessential 80s anthem. After the success of Obsession, Animotion began to experience internal struggles. The band's original lineup started to shift. Their second album, Strange Behavior, failed to replicate the success of their debut, despite the inclusion of some strong tracks like Let 'Em Go. The album produced a few minor hits, but it didn't have the same lasting impact as Obsession. By the early 1990s, the popularity of synth pop and new wave had diminished, and Animotion disappeared from the mainstream music scene. The group went into relative obscurity during this period, with members pursuing different musical projects and personal ventures. However, Animotion's legacy was kept alive by their devoted fan base, as well as the continued popularity of songs like Obsession, which maintained a presence in pop culture. In the early 2000s, Animotion made a notable comeback, starting with a reunion tour and a handful of performances at 80s revival concerts. Animotion's career may have been marked by ups and downs, but their legacy in the world of 80s new wave and synth pop is undeniable. Through their defining hit Obsession and a catalog full of memorable tracks, they cemented themselves as one of the era's most distinctive and beloved electronic pop bands. Though they never became as mainstream as some of their peers, their music continues to resonate with fans, new and old, and they remained a cherished part of 80s music history. Now it's time for the recommendation. Yes, that's the word recommendation with Matt in the middle. I'm going to end each podcast with my own recommendation of a movie or TV series. Today I'm talking about Parker Lewis Can't Lose. The quirky teen comedy tells the story of Parker Lewis, a smart and confident high school student navigating the ups and downs of teenage life in the fictional town of Santo Domingo. The show's premise centers around Parker's ability to always come out on top, no matter how chaotic or outlandish the situations around him get. Parker is known for his quick wit, charm, and laid-back approach to life, leading him to become an unofficial leader among his friends and schoolmates. His two best friends are always along for the ride, helping Parker at his various schemes and adventures. Parker is constantly outsmarting and outmaneuvering the school's authority figures, all the while navigating his own personal relationships, crushes, and the challenges of high school. It stars Corin Nemec in the titular role, with his sidekicks played by Billy Jane and Troy W. Slatton. It also features Melanie Chardoff, Maya Bruton, and Mary Ellen Trainor. It was created by Lon Diamond, producer of The Tick, and Clyde Phillips, who would go on to produce Dexter and its spin-offs. What sets Parker Lewis Can't Lose apart from other teen comedies of its time is its unique blend of surreal humor, pop culture references, and visual gags, often breaking the fourth wall. The show employs a fast-paced slapstick style, frequently using imaginative camera angles and creative editing techniques to reflect Parker's adventurous, almost cartoonish perspective on life. With its memorable characters, wild antics, and upbeat tone, Parker Lewis Can't Lose became a cult favorite, especially for its depiction of teenage rebellion and the power of friendship. Parker Lewis Can't Lose was on for 3 seasons, 73 episodes from 1990 to 1993. That's all for this edition of Matt Forgot That. Thanks for listening to me reminisce. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've reviewed, or want to share your own trip down memory lane, use the hashtag MattForgotThat on social. Head over to mattseroski.com for all the latest news and updates, and come back next time for the rewatch and review. Born in Austria in 1947, Schwarzenegger first rose to fame. Jingle All The Way is a holiday comedy. Jesus. He was nominated for 1 Academy Award for Best Music, Original Music, or Comedy Score of Anishtada. Oh my lord. Where the hell did that word come from?